Hello everyone. I got a bit of a half-baked idea today, so let me tell you about it. There's an idea that I've had for a video that I haven't had the resources to pull off the way I want to yet. And while I do suspect that I will be able to pull it off at some point in the future, I figured I could pull off a half version of it right now. I've been wondering what it's been like to knit underwater. And while I don't have the resources at the moment to fully submerge myself underwater and film myself while doing so, I can at least submerge the knitting underwater. So you will get to watch me attempt to knit with the knitting completely underwater. Obviously, I'm going to have to change the camera angle so you can see it. I've got a bucket full of water. And as you can no doubt tell, we are in the bathroom again, so that way if it's messy, it's less of a big deal. So I'll switch the camera angle and we'll get right into it. All right, here we go. I'm going to attempt to do everything in the water. Here we go. Oop. That is cold. And yarn floats. Who knew? All right. Wow. This is really cold. I did not check the temperature of the water before I poured it into the plastic bin. This is the first time I'm attempting to knit with part of me submerged underwater. I'm not counting the knitting with wet yarn video in this one, but it's not the first time I've attempted to do a craft in the water. I used to teach basketry and the reeds have to be wet anyway, so going in the water for that made a lot of sense. See, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I also got like a smaller skein of yarn, so that way there'd be less to dry out. Although, will these needles float? The needles do float, but then again, they're plastic. They should have floated. All right. This is like another one of those super weird like assumptions you make about knitting. It's like technically you're surrounded by a substance at all times, right? It's just most of the time that substance is air, and we'd think of it as nothing because we're just so familiar with it. So knitting with water around, I'm just knitting while completely surrounded by a different substance. I think it's David Foster Wallace who had that joke about the fish. It's like, wow, we're swimming in the water, and the other fish just goes like, what is water? I'm sure I completely butchered that, but I think you get the point, right? Yeah, first row is done. Now we're going to purl the next row. The refraction's not too bad with this particular water. Although, when my hands move, it kind of forms the water to like ripple, and that affects my vision, but I don't necessarily need to see to knit. Yeah, that's the second row. Or it's strange, like the yarn like floating up. that part's really strange. I never really thought of yarn as floating, you know? Oop. yarn ball's getting in the way of my sight there. It's like, no, how dare you? Nope. This is kind of reminding me of like all these mermaid movies where they show like the characters having super long hair and then like it's staying flat by their faces. When anyone who's been underwater with long hair can tell you it literally goes everywhere unless you pull it back. There you have it. Let me pull this out here. It's kind of hard to see. I mean, my knitting is still perfect. There was just the effect of the water, which apparently it's all really floatable. So there you have it. That was today's entertainment. Have a nice day, everybody.